promotion offer. The preceding was a paid presentation for the Aero Pilates Performer XP from Stamina Products.
If at first you don't succeed, do some research.
Every single play I run on women has been meticulously field tested. Did you A, not believe I was a Guinness Book World Record holder? Or B, did the fingernails gross you out?
It's time to meet your new mother. Soon on 7.
We all love our fun in the sun. And why shouldn't we? But our sun is harsh. Between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. We have the world's highest rates of skin cancer. In fact, 2 out of 3 people will be diagnosed before they're 70. But you can enjoy the sun without the worries. Choose a trusted sunscreen like Banana Boat that offers broad spectrum protection against UVA and UVB rays, covers your whole family's needs, and be sure it's applied properly. Get smart about your fun in the sun.
Michael Hill's $35 million clearance is not to be missed. This ring featuring a quarter carat of diamonds was $629, now $299. Or these earrings featuring 1/3 carat of diamonds, only $399. Save up to 50% off at Michael Hill's $35 million clearance.
The war to defeat hair loss is now over. Advanced laser therapy fights for hair regrowth while strand by strand replaces hair that's been lost forever. That's a total victory.
Just like mine.
Call now.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm Gillian.
And in 2012, they're playing for us.
I have been dating Gillian's son for the past couple of years now.
You spoil him.
Sam's become now part of my family. We both spend a lot of time making sure we're presentable. Same with our food. We take immense pride in coming up with innovative ideas. Doing this competition together will make us closer than what we are now.
New My Kitchen Rules.
This morning, 6 dead and more than a dozen still missing as the Italian cruise ship sinks deeper into the ocean. A teenager killed in a tragic skateboarding accident in New South Wales. And all the hits and misses from the Golden Globes red carpet.
This is 7 Early News with Samantha Armitage.
Good morning. Stricken cruise ship Costa Concordia has slipped further into the waters off the Tuscan coast, where it ran aground 3 days ago. Search efforts were temporarily called off as the ship's captain faced fresh criticism for his behaviour leading up to the crash.
3 days after she struck rocks, the Costa Concordia lies on her side just meters off the Tuscan island of Giglio. 6 people are confirmed to have died, but 14 remain unaccounted for. This morning, rescue operations were suspended after the cruise ship slipped even further into the water. Helicopter crew had to race to pluck the rescue team from the vessel. More video has emerged of the terrifying ordeal endured by the 4,000 passengers on board on Friday night after the cruise ship started to capsize. The message over the tannoy may be designed to calm the situation, but many of these passengers say the evacuation is chaotic and confused.
They was trying to get the lifeboats down, but because they extend them out, as they were coming down, it was coming back in because of the angle. So they wasn't coming down. We all got in them and got so far down, and then we had to get back out of them because they were going.
The ship's captain has been detained on suspicion of manslaughter as investigations get underway to establish what happened, but he insists he's done nothing wrong. This morning, the ship's owners said they would provide the captain with all necessary assistance, but could not rule out human error playing a part in the tragedy. They admitted that procedures after the collision did not follow the company's strict guidelines. Neil Connery, 7 News.
The search and rescue mission to find more survivors in the wreckage of the ship is a delicate operation. At least 15 people are still missing. Ray Cooper has more from just near the crash site in Italy.
This is one of the points on Giglio Island where a lot of the passengers managed to swim to the safety of dry land. The ship is less than 100 metres off this point, and you can see a surveyor is monitoring the vessel to make sure, several reasons, to make sure it doesn't start to break up, and also to make sure it's safe for search and rescue teams to continue that search for survivors. Now you can see some of them actually climbing up the very face of the ship, which is on a very, very steep angle. At the moment, these guys are walking working right on the entire length of the ship and dropping cables down the other side to help their colleagues actually climb into some of the cabins that haven't been checked yet. Although we understand most of the cabins that are above water have been cleared and there is no one inside those. As for the ones that are underwater, and that's about a third of the cabins, specialist army diving crews are currently going through that murky task of finding any survivors. But as the days goes on, unfortunately, that is looking less likely. But you can see the sheer steepness of where this boat is now resting on land. A lot of the jet chances are strewn along wherever they ended up landing, and you feel like you can almost look right into the ship. I really understand, the glass room could have either been a casino or one of the luxury dining rooms, but the ship, as I said, is less than 100 metres offshore, and there's a bit of a suggestion from locals that perhaps the captain did that on purpose. They're not sympathising with him, but there's a suggestion that once he hit those rocks and realised the ship might start taking on water, he dropped anchor and tried to swing the vessel as close to land as possible to give his passengers the best chance of survival. But of course, he's also under a lot of pressure because there are reports that he was on land as many as 3 hours before the last passengers were actually back on land and to safety. If he is charged with fleeing the vessel, he could face as many as 12 years in jail.
Ray Cooper reporting there from Italy. There's been another drive-by shooting in Sydney overnight with 4 shots fired into a home at Wetherall Park. A woman and her 2 children were inside but were not injured. The latest incident comes as police and the New South Wales government take a strong stance against the violence, threatening to jail witnesses if they don't speak.
But it's also about sending a message to the community that if the resources are available in New South Wales, then they will be deployed to ensure that innocent people are not drawn into this where possible.
The new partnership will also give police access to things like attacks and banking history of suspects. A teenage boy has died while skateboarding in the New South Wales city of Wagga Wagga. It's believed the 17-year-old was being towed by a car when he was hit by another vehicle last night. He died at the scene. Police say the teenager had been skateboarding with a group of friends when the accident happened. A number of people, including the drivers of both the cars, are assisting police with their investigation. Victorians living in bushfire-prone areas have been warned to prepare their fire plans ahead of some scorching temperatures over the next few weeks. Hot and dry conditions are expected to hit the state today, with Melbourne to top 35 degrees.
The weather is dry, the weather is warming, we're approaching the peak season in February.
Forecasters predict the heatwave-like conditions will continue into next month. Qantas pilots have filed submissions to the workplace umpire outlining their pay demands. The airline tabled its offer to the pilots last month, and now Fair Work Australia will start arbitration in the hope of reaching a deal. The pilots' union is also after a guarantee that only Qantas flights are flown by Qantas. Both parties will meet for an arbitration hearing at Fair Work Australia in June. A Sydney teenager has been charged under Sky's law after a high-speed police chase. The boys aged 16 and